Hey, what's going on, Swifters? It's Jimmy Swift here, and welcome to a DragonKnight Stamina PvP, but also PvE build. Honestly, guys, it has been over a year since I've put out an Elder Scrolls Online build video, and I've been playing the game a whole ton more lately, and I really want to do more of these build videos for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Coming up, I am working right now on a theory that I have for a sort of like tank and DPS PvP build that's super interesting that I'm really excited to test out. So that video will be coming out within the next couple weeks. But before we get into this, I also just want to say, if I sound horrible, like I have a cold, it's because I just came down with one and I'm not feeling great at all. But I wanted to record this video for you guys anyway. So let's get started. So we're going to break this down by doing skills. Then we're going to talk about the attributes in our Mundus Stone. I'll show you guys my gear and champion points. So before we also get started as well, I'm like got a bunch of things to say. I would like to thank SypherPK for helping me with this build. He's sort of the one that kind of came up with it. I fine-tuned and tweaked a couple things, but for the most part, you know, he and I collaborated on this build, and so I want to give a shout out to him. So his link, the link to his channel is down below. He does a ton of build videos and PvP videos and stuff like that. So guys, let's get into this. So the first thing we're going to look at is obviously what we're running. So we're running two-handed on our front bar, and then we're going to be running bow on our back bar. Now, in terms of skills on our front bar here, we have Critical Rush, which I haven't finished leveling yet, but we've got Critical Rush, then Dizzying Swing. Man, I know my voice sounds horrible. I apologize. Then we've got Executioner. This is our Execute. So most of our DPS is going to come from Dizzying Swing here, and Venomous Claw here, which is a damage over time ability. It's Stamina Morph from DragonKnight Ardent Flame. And then on the last one, we have Rally. So this is a heal, and it also is going to increase our weapon damage by 20% because it gives us major brutality. So the really nice thing about Rally is if you cast it, you're going to get that the damage buff. It's going to boost your weapon damage. And also what it does is it runs for 33 seconds. The longer that it's running, if you recast it, you're going to get health back. So it could be a really nice self-heal in PvP if you cast it, and then if you cast it again while the duration is still going, like let's say 30 seconds later, so it's still going, whereas as it would expire within 3 seconds because it lasts 33 seconds, you're gonna get a massive heal from that. So it says the final heal is increased in proportion to the length of time Rally has been active. So that's a really nice heal on this front bar here. And then our ultimate here is Take Flight. So this is going to do, for me, it's going to do 13,000 physical damage to enemies. And it's going to knock back all enemies in the area. And it looks awesome. It's just a lot of fun to use. You could also use Dawnbreaker, the Dawnbreaker ultimate in here. Probably for PvP, you'd want to use Dawnbreaker of Smiting, but Flawless Dawnbreaker would work well also. So then on our other bar, our bow bar, this is more of a buff bar and defensive, like kind of getaway bar. One of the reasons Sypher and I picked this build, or this skill line for me, was I already had it leveled, but also at the bottom of the bow, passives is a passive called Hasty Retreat, which grants you Major Expedition for 5 seconds after using Dodge Roll. And so Major Expedition, it increases your movement speed by 30%. So I like to do a lot of solo PvP, and getting away from enemies is something that is very important. So if you just Dodge Roll, and then you'll see the little like swift like lines behind me. For 5 seconds I get added bonus movement speed. So that can help me get away from some enemies, put some distance between them and myself in PvP. Also, if you're wondering what city I'm in Windhelm. You guys might recognize this little area here from Skyrim. I remember the first time I came here, I got really excited. I recognized it right away. So our first skill we have is Poison Ejection. So this is going to deal poison damage, and it's a dot as well. It's going to additional 7,600 poison damage over 10 seconds. But the damage over time deals up to 200% more damage to enemies under 50% health. So if you got this dot running on somebody and they've got low health, it's definitely going to help you finish them off quicker. This is our flex spot here. I run volatile armor because I feel a little bit squishy. I'm running 7 pieces of medium. We'll talk about armor in a minute. I'm running 7 pieces of medium. So this is a flex spot here. honestly, you could run Draining Shot here for more survivability, which is going to give you a heal. You can run Fossilize in this spot. You can run, let me see, Noxious Breath in this spot as well for to give the enemy a major fracture and reducing their armor, so you can do more damage to them. But I personally, I like running Volatile Armor. So while active, anyone that hits you with the melee attack is going to take 421 magic damage, and it's also going to buff my physical resistance and spell resistance by 5,280 for 20 seconds. So it's just really nice, a nice buff, and it makes me feel a little bit more tanky in PvP than I would if I wasn't running it. Then this skill we have here is called Shuffle. It's found in the medium armor skill line, and basically this grants me major evasion. So for on cast, when I cast it, it grants me snare immunity by 0.5 seconds for each piece of medium armor equipped. So because I have 7 pieces of medium armor, that's gonna give me 3.5 seconds of snare immunity. So I get into a bad situation, I'm in PvP, get into a bad situation, I'll pop this and dodge roll out and then just sprint away. And for 3.5 seconds, they can't snare me, which means that I'll be able to get, put some distance between me and them, hopefully get to a safer location or back to a group or behind a rock or wherever I need to go to sort of protect myself. And then I also, for 20 seconds, get major evasion, which is going to increase my dodge chance by 20%. Right here, we have Igneous Shield. So this is like the one skill ability that DK healer like should most certainly run. I'm not healing on this character except for anybody but myself. So the nice thing about Igneous Shield is it gives you a damage shield, but it also gives you major mending, which increases your healing done by 25% for 6 seconds. So we're in a real bad spot. PvP, we got really low health. Let's go ahead and hit Igneous Shield. Now we've got a damage shield. We'll pop Vigor, and we're gonna get 25% increased heals from that for 6 seconds, which actually goes really nicely because Vigor lasts 5 seconds. So Vigor is our last skill on the bar here, and it is found in the Assault skill line for the Alliance War, and it's a stamina self-heal, so it scales off your stamina and weapon damage. So this says renews your forces resolve, healing yourself for 9,882 health over 5 seconds, and nearby allies for 7,620 health over 5 seconds. That seems low. I think I don't have any food buffs on right now, so we'll check that in a minute. Our ultimate is Corrosive Armor, which is found in the Earthen Heart. Dude, this ultimate is insane for survivability. You're basically invulnerable for 10.8 seconds. So it says oxidize the green dragon blood in your veins, limiting incoming damage to 3% of your max health. So like, this is your oh crap, I'm gonna die button. Like, let's stay alive and see if we can win this fight. The nice thing about Corrosive Armor as well is that it deals 976 poison damage to nearby enemies each second for 10.8 seconds. And also, while it's active, your attacks ignore 100% of an enemy's physical resistance. So they might be wearing all heavy armor, and if you use Corrosive Armor, this is any damage you do to them while they're, while you're battling them, you're gonna ignore 100% of their armor. So that's really, really nice for doing damage as well. So anyways, let's get to attributes. So attributes points, this is what my breakdown looks like right now. I don't think I'm running food, I'm not. So we got 64 points in stamina. This build is, I'm right at 300 champion points now. So you can still do this build with less than that, but of course the more champion points you have, the stronger you're gonna be and the more effective you're gonna be. So we got, we're not really too concerned with Magicka. We don't have that many Magicka abilities. Health seems really low for PvE, but for PvP, with the food buff that I usually eat, which is going to be 5,000 health, plus another 5,000 from the Battle Spirit passive you get when you go to PvP, we're going to be sitting at 21,000 health, which is, that's decent, so I'm fine with that. And then stamina is 28,000. Our weapon damage is unbuffed is 2357. Weapon crit is 32.5. And then you can see our resistances here. We've got some crit resistance, spell resist, and physical resist. Those honestly aren't super high, but you know, when we use abilities like volatile armor, you'll see that those go up quite a bit. We also have defending trait on our bow, so that's gonna actually increase this bar as well. This is our back bar, this is our survivability and buff bar. So like flip that over, go to defending, that's gonna give me more armor and spell resist here. So you can see I can mitigate 32.3% physical damage. With that up, we're doing 37.3 spell resist. Obviously, just real quick, always get all your class passives. I am a Nord right now, so that's not the best for this build for this update, but next update in August, Nords are going to be getting a stamina buff, so this build is going to get even better. Next update, which I'm really excited about, we're going to be getting 6% max stamina, which is awesome. But get all your racial passives, you know, get like, love your alchemy so you can get medicinal use, potions last 30% longer, do provisioning so your food lasts longer. You know, these are all no-brainers. Like, get all the passives for your for the weapons lines that you're using and whatnot. So in terms of Mundus Stone, I'm using the Serpent, which is going to increase combat stamina recovery. So right now, without any food, we're at 1938 for stamina recovery. Let me go ahead and eat the food that I eat here, and that's the Orzaga's triple trifle pocket. It increases max health by 5,000 and stamina recovery by 457 for 2 hours. So this is a special recipe that I got from doing special quest in Orsinium. Most foods just either do a max bonus of either health, stamina, or magic, or any combinations of like 2 or 3 of those. None of the other foods in the game other than these special foods mix health, like a base stat and a recovery stat, but this one does. This is great for PvP because keeping our stamina up with all the dodge rolling we're going to be doing is really nice. So let's go ahead and eat this. You'll see it's going to increase my health, and our stats now, we've got 16,000 here. This is in PvE, and our stamina recovery is now at 2569, which is fantastic. Stamina recovery also gets buffed as well under two-handed. So after you kill something, with your two-handed weapon equipped, it's going to increase your stamina recovery by 30% for 10 seconds after killing a target. So that's always nice. Now I am a vampire. I'll never drop vamp on this character just because I got it within the first week and a half of the game, and I was really proud of achieving that. Vampire isn't required, but you do get a small buff from that. So under vampire, since I'm in stage 4, you know, we get Dark Stalker, so movement speed and crouch is increased. We have the Undeath passive, which is nice. Reduces damage dealt to you when you fall below 50% health, and lower health increases the effect, reducing damage by up to 33%. And then Supernatural Recovery, so it's going to increase my magic and stamina recovery by 10%. So that's another reason why my stamina recovery is as high as it is, which is nice. So let's talk about some gear. I know gear is like the most exciting thing about build videos, at least for me. If you're wondering what style armor this is, it is Trinamac. So for gear, we are running a 3-piece agility set. These are extremely expensive, so if you can't run agility, there are some other stamina jewelry sets out there that won't give you as much you know, resources as these will. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I will put those the information on that down in the description below if you guys are interested in checking that out. Because as you can see, like a neck here, the average price of these lately has been like 32,000, and then the rings are like 52,000. So really expensive. But look at this, for the 2 set you get 1,400 max stamina. No other jewelry or set in the game adds that much stamina for a 2-piece, so that is huge. And then also the 3 set gives us 186 weapon damage, and I've got legendary enchants on all of these. These are all robust. So we've got legendary enchant of 169 stamina recovery, legendary enchant of 174 weapon damage, and legendary enchant of 174 weapon damage. Based on where your stats lie and what race you are and all that different stuff, you could change these up. You could do like 2 stamina recoveries and 1 weapon damage. You could go all weapon damage. Personally, I like to have at least 1 more stamina recovery and 2 weapon damage on here. Then we're running also the 5-piece Eternal Hunt. So the Eternal Hunt is a 9 trait set that you can get from the Hughes Bane region. And what this does is basically it adds stamina recovery, and then when you use your roll dodge, you leave behind a rune that detonates when enemies come close, dealing 8,923 poison damage and immobilizing them for 1.5 seconds. So this is awesome. If I roll dodge, you see here it leaves behind this green rune for a few seconds, and if somebody steps over that, it's going to explode and immobilize them and do damage to them. So playing solo in PvP, you know, running around trying to escape people and stuff, it's really nice to be able to roll dodge, and even just roll dodge out of the way of attacks and sort of leave down damage dealing obstacles behind me, especially if you're running through a choke point area where you know someone's chasing you and there's only one way in and one way out. Doing a dodge roll like that is going to be really awesome with the Eternal Hunt set on, because they're most likely going to have to go over your rune, and if they do, then you've got a perfect chance to attack them because they're going to be rooted. Or immobilized. So we got a 5-piece Eternal Hunt. I haven't upgraded all of these yet to legendary. Mats are expensive, and that stinks, but it is what it is. Then for the helmet, we have we're running a 3-piece more Coolden set. So this is going to be max stamina and stamina recovery again. As you can see, I've got impenetrable on almost all my gear. I've got impen on the head, impen shoulders, impen chest, impen bracers, and then I've got well fitted on the sash, the boots, and the legs. So well fitted is going to reduce the cost of sprinting and roll dodging by a certain %, which is awesome. So more Coolden, that's a 9-piece set as well, and it's crafted in Orsidium. And the weapons are your third part of that. So I don't have Maelstrom weapons right now. I'm trying to work towards getting those. If I did have Maelstrom weapons, I would use them here because they're insane and amazing. And we'd sacrifice some stamina recovery for those Maelstrom weapons. But you know, when we switch bars, you know, either way, we've got that that third piece of the more Coolden set, so we're maintaining that stamina recovery even when we switch bars. So in terms of the weapon, I'm using a mace, two-handed mace. So maces are great for PvP because under heavy weapons here, you can see that maces cause your attacks to ignore 20% of your target's physical resistance. So that's going to allow you to do more damage to them in PvP. And we have the sharpened trait on the mace, so it's going to increase our physical penetration even more. Then on the bow, on the back bar, we have defending, like I mentioned earlier, and that's going to increase our physical and spell resistance by 5,160. So as you can see here, physical resistance, you know, is the way it is right here, this number here. And then if we switch, that's actually going to get increased by quite a bit. So it goes from 16.5% to 24.3%, and that's just because of the bow, the defending trait on the bow. So like I said, getting away, escaping, evading enemies, we're going to be on that bow bar, which is going to give us more survivability and the hasty retreat passive so that we can get away. Now in terms of champion points, you know, a lot of things are up for debate with champion points, but the way that I did it and the way it was recommended to me was I dumped 31. This is based on 300 champion points, by the way. But I dumped, right now I've got 31 points into Warlord, so it's going to reduce the stamina cost of spells and abilities by 7.9%. Under the Lover, we've got 33 points in Mooncalf, which is going to increase our stamina recovery by 11.5%. All the roll dodging that we're doing, it's really nice to keep our stamina up. And sprinting, and then we've got to use stamina for our skills and stuff. So stamina recovery is super important with this build, and I like having it as high as it is because I rarely run out of it. And if I get like knocked down or have to break CC, I have, you know, I can do that and then know that my recovery is going to get me back up pretty quick, and it's going to allow that stamina pool to last quite a bit longer. So 33 in Mooncalf, and then over here in Tumbling we've got 36. So it's going to reduce the stamina cost of roll dodge and break free by 9.5%. Let's see here. There's another one. Passives, I'm trying to think. Not in that tree. Anyways, let's move on to the blue side of the tree here. So under the apprentice, we've got 10 into bless, which is going to increase the effectiveness of healing done by 5%. None in the atronach, and almost all of our points are over here in the ritual. So we've got 60 points into mighty, which is going to increase our physical, poison, and disease damage by 17.5%. So we're dealing a lot of physical damage in this build, so we want to pump that up in mighty to increase that damage for us. Thaumaturge, which is going to increase, we got 20 points in here, which is going to increase our effectiveness of my damage over time effects by 8.1. So the damage over time effects that I have are poison injection, venomous claw. If I had a maelstrom two-handed sword, the enchantment on that would allow critical rush to do a bleed effect, so that'd be damage over time. But also we have, if we're running volatile armor also has a damage over time. So when cast, it shoots out those little like spikes, and it causes enemies to take 2,556 magic damage over 10 seconds. So it's a damage over time ability. This is also a great skill for getting a Nightblade, trying to find a Nightblade who's cloaked. You can hit this if they're right, if you know they're right near you, and if one of these hits them, it'll show you where they are, and then you can go flip back over and go into like critical rush or dizzying swing or whatever. Where was I? So it was over here. So 20 thaumaturge, and then we got 10 precise strikes, which is going to increase the damage and healing dealt by weapon criticals by 5%. And lastly, over here in the steed, we've got 40 points into resistant. You're going to definitely want to run this if you're playing PvP. That's going to reduce the amount of damage you take from crits. Like if you don't have points in here, you're going to die in PvP. If you don't run impen on your armor, you're going to die so fast in PvP. So everybody's crit is really high. You need to counteract that. Over here also we got thick skin. So 6 in thick skin, it reduces the damage I take from damage over time effects by 3.4%. And then I'm splitting my points between hardy and elemental defender. These are some defenses. The higher champion points I get, the more I'll be able to put in here, and the better I'll be defensively. But hardy reduces your poison, disease, and physical damage dealt to me by 9.2%. Elemental defender is going to reduce flame, frost, shock, and magic damage dealt to me by 9.5%. And then lastly, we've just got 5 points in quick recovery, which is going to increase the effectiveness of healing received by 2.6. So like these aren't as important. I think what Sypher had told me was that like bless is actually more effective for healing than quick recovery. So that is the build. In terms of making this build PvE viable, it's really easy. If I run PvE, I basically just run Noxious Breath right here. You could also run a volley or any morph of volley right here as well for the AoE damage for PvE. And then on this side, I usually stick with dizzying swing just because it does a lot of single target damage anyway. It's good for bosses. But if you're going through bigger groups and you want to do more AoE damage with your two-handed, you can do cleave or any of the morphs of cleave, which if you take that, it swings your weapon in front of you like this, and it clears out enemies sort of in front of you. So that's another good move for PvE. And if you did want to adapt this build to PvE, I would just say if you're not doing PvP but you just want to do PvE only and use the same build, just alter the traits. If you craft this or get it crafted for you, you won't need impenetrable. You might want to keep well fitted a little bit, but I would say for these 4 pieces at least, do like, I don't know, you could do Nernhode, you could do infused, probably infused just to give you more like stamina and stuff or whatever. But obviously I've got stamina enchants on all of these. I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention the enchants. We got disease damage over here, although I am usually using poisons on my bow. So we've got a bunch of different poisons that we can use now with the Dark Brotherhood update. And then on this one, we got legendary enchant, which is increase your weapon damage and spell damage by 348 for 5 seconds. And then stamina enchants on all of our armor. Forgot to mention that. But guys, that's the build. I'll come up with a witty name for the build in the title. Haven't named it yet, haven't thought about it yet. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, make sure to stay tuned to my channel for more updates either on this build. I'll be doing some PvP soon, PvP videos soon with this build so you guys can see it in action. And I'm also, like I said, working on a kind of tanky but damage dealing build for a DragonKnight, like really fun build that I have an idea for. So video on that will be coming out hopefully within a couple weeks. Gotta do some testing and get some armor sets first. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace!